So, what am I talking about? Well, it started off when we were kids, right? We were little kids born into this world. And what an amazing world of things that we started to discover, right? And how did we discover them? Through our eyes. Through our eyes. People around us, our parents, our teachers, the neighbors, right? Strangers, people pointed to things and they told us what those things were. They pointed to a tree and said, tree. They pointed to cars and said cars, to houses and said house. They named and labeled every single thing that we saw. This is a ball. This is a rattle, right? So we were enamored with this ever-expanding world of fun stuff. Childlike awe and wonder at its best. Innocence, purity, a sponge for people to write upon. And as we started to collect those little items out there, the cars, the sidewalks, the trees, the leaves, the dogs, the cats, the what? The everything. As we started to accumulate those words, labels, images, shapes, those shapes in our database, in our memory, in our brain, in our storage system, in our unique self. As we collected those things, we learned how to recognize them out in the world. So every time I saw a dog, it didn't matter that it was my dog or the dog I learned about yesterday or last week, the neighbor's dog, doesn't matter. I was able somehow to recognize the pattern recognition of what a dog is. And I was able to assimilate that and add that dog into my database of myself. So it's pretty easy to see that the world is filled with a variety of things, with words, labels, names, shapes, images, different things. And all those things are awesome. They are incredibly, absolutely unique, valuable, special, different, wonderful variety of some type of a creative expression in the world. But something else happened when we were kids, right? Uh-oh. As we were wandering around having our great play date with this earth, enjoying all the things that were being pointed out to us, somewhere along the line, they told us about the good and the bad, the good and the evil, right? They're like, that's a good car. That is a bad car. This is the good side of town, right? That's the bad side of town. Good versus evil had entered into our database of things, concepts, and now everything that was in our set of data, all the dogs, all the cats, all the sidewalks, everything was tainted, viewed through the glasses of good versus evil, good versus bad. Two powers fighting each other, right? And it wrecked the whole thing, really, because now I got to wonder, is this a good sidewalk or a bad sidewalk? And what does that create for every single one of ourselves that was growing up here in this world? It created fear, doubt, worry, anxiety, doom and gloom. Oh my God, I'm gonna die, right? Death. So good. It's so good, so obvious, right? So we ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, right? Like, not to quote the Bible, but it's kind of cool that it says that. And it's so obvious that when we were told about there being two powers in opposition of each other, that it just wrecked the whole thing and it colored everything as either positive or negative. And it created that sense of, we better watch out, we better not cry, we better not pout, I'm telling you why. Yeah, because You're either going to get some coal in your stocking or you're going to have some kind of an awesome experience if you just behave, if you just do good enough. Be good, don't be bad, right? So we're in that war, the war of two powers. Welcome to what it's like to be a limited self. Skip forward, right? Through the years. What happens? Well, once we learned about good versus evil, we pretty much made all our decisions based on that. This is a good job. I'll get it. Yeah, I'm going to go for that job because it's good. It's good because of this, and this. Yeah, that job, I better avoid that one. It's bad. Oh no, the bad job. I'm getting the bad job. Darn it, I didn't get the good job. I'm a loser. Blah, blah, blah. At the mercy, right, of the good, bad world, the duality. Then what? If I just find that one person out there, that right person, as opposed to the wrong person, right versus wrong. Here we go again, right? Good versus bad in all its glory. What happens at the end of this story? Well, everybody has their own series of good versus bad stories, anecdotes, experiences that happen in their life. And eventually, some of us, I know this guy, that it happened to him. Eventually we break. We can't go on any longer, right? We just can't live that way. For me, I became a full-blown alcoholic, full-blown drug addict. What? Why not? Got to find a way to end your life somehow, right? To come to the end of duality is what I mean. I don't mean literally end your life. No, I mean end this battle of believing that there are two powers in opposition to each other. Had to cast that out. Okay? So what happened? I tried to run away from the bad and I tried to run to the good, and no matter what happened, it always got screwed up. At the end of the day, I had to be reborn. I had to be born again. I had to be born a second time. I had to find a new way to live. I had to live outside of this war of two powers. I had to have another paradigm, another way, another light, another understanding, another concept of life that was beyond good versus evil. See? So what happened? Well, one of the things that happened was I recognized that I'm not just a self, but I'm also this other thing: consciousness, awareness, spirit, right? And I noticed that this awareness, this presence, this looker, this watcher, this observer that is inside me, looking at all the dogs and cats and cars and sidewalks, all the good cars, the bad cars, the blah, blah, blahs, that this presence, this awareness was beyond all of those descriptions of good and evil, beyond it, right? And so what did I do basically when I was presented with the option of being born in spirit, born as consciousness, not as Brian anymore? Let me use Brian as a stepping stone to come up and out of him and be this consciousness, awareness, spirit. And when I decided to make this my new identity, oh boy, did I get free from the war of opposites, right? Right? Then what happened was the whole world around me became a variety still like it was when I was a kid. It was a beautiful, immaculate variety, just like before they told me about the knowledge of good versus evil. I become like a child again, and I entered into the kingdom of heaven, if you will, a variety of one power expressing itself in a variety of ways in the world. What? So good. Oh my God. It's like this. The self, Brian, that I had been collecting all those years was like a rocket ship. It was like a rocket ship that blasted me up and off out of the atmosphere until I got into outer space. Outer space, this consciousness place, this awareness, this imagination space, this anything is possible space. of consciousness. And once here, all I needed to do was jettison that part of the rocket called myself, to surrender myself, let myself go, become selfless for a moment, and just really buy in or decide, unside, right? Get rid of the sides and just decide that I am consciousness, I am awareness. And it's not hard to do, because look around. All day long, all we are doing, if we're being honest, if you consider this, all we're doing is moving our awareness from one thing to another, to another, to another. We're recognizing the objects, the shapes in our environment, and we're looking at them through our memories, our pattern recognition. We're looking at a dog, and then we're tapping our memory of what dogs look like, and we're calling that thing a dog. We're just looking from consciousness, from awareness, from spiritual space through this vehicle, this apparatus, this database called ourself. So, being born a second time, first born like from a woman, right? Where we're a little physical baby, born the first time, and then everybody feeds us all the definitions and the meanings of all the objects and shapes and things. And then they feed us the good versus evil, right? Because we kind of had to have that for a season so that we could bust out of it and then see what absolute good would be like, what one power would be like. How are we going to know what one power is like unless we have the contrast of a world where there are two opposing powers fighting each other, where there's doubt, fear, shame, loss, death, right? But we can come up and out of that, be born again, be like little children again, and as adults, experience the variety of this ever-advancing creativity in the world. Now, we're agents of that power. We are spearheads of God's ever-advancing creation in the world. That's actually a quote from some 12-step recovery literature. Amazing. Super simple. Strong self-awareness is the gateway out of our troubles. And then it unlocks a whole new world of anything is possible, where we can pull down new ideas, anything we can imagine, and start to take actions on them in the world. From a place of doubt-free surety, from a place of absolute good, love, light, confidence. So good. And that's just the beginning, right? Because once we are up and out of ourself, then we learn how to work with the world and ourself to create wonderful things, to help other people blossom and get out of themselves, right? To bring new things into the world that are beautiful, wonderful, different, inspiring, exceptional, right? Just like you're doing every day. You're doing that every day. So good, so good. So, what else happens? I don't know. Now that I know I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, I'm kind of like basking in the fact that I'm never really gonna die, and that there really is no enemy at all. Now that, I gotta tell you, what profound. What a beautiful experience. I feel like I could just sit around all day, really, and just smile and giggle and laugh and just be deliriously happy about that one idea, that I survived my life as Brian. Oh, so good. I died before I died. I wonder what's gonna happen next. Nothing but a great adventure. Anything is possible in this, an unlimitedness, right? So here I am in this space of freedom and wellness and contentment, where honestly, the ideas are I can have anything I want in my personal life, but I gotta tell you, I don't really care too much about anything right now. I just don't. I'm so happy to have met this power, to have become who I was born to be, who we are, right? As this spirit, this consciousness, this Christ inside of a guy named Brian, and that I'm not the only one, that free gift is there for anyone who would receive it, who would conceive of it, recognize it, be told of it, have it described for them, and then they would just decide from here on out in their life that they are that thing, that beautiful consciousness. Anyhow, on and on we go, right? Right? So, enjoy your day. Whoa, enjoy your life. Life, real life. I'm not talking about dead life, fake life. No. I'm talking about getting up and out into the real life of being self-aware. The two becoming one. One power, not two. Enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your awareness.